Okay guys, I'm back. I just got out of the shower, so I'm gonna make this pretty quick. I'm not gonna stay on too long. But basically, so I've been having issues trying to sell it because people online keep mass reporting my Facebook account. So I've been putting it on all my social profiles, not just my Facebook. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Because like I said, I need to get out of here. But I just wanted to go over that I have all this and this and this full of my memoir, along with some art that I thought we could do, like some storyboard art for another book later on. There's just like different things I want to get done, mainly because, like I said, guys, I haven't been feeling good. Like, I've had, asthma, like, pretty bad, like, since I moved here, and I think it's mainly because I'm allergic to cedar trees and the windows and stuff. I've had a lot more asthma attacks, a lot more, like, coughing, sneezing, just like that, like, crap in your chest, coughing up big, like, gunk, like my dad used to do, and I had an ear infection really bad in this ear, and it went down into my jaw. So I haven't been feeling good, and I'm still recovering. Like, every day, guys, like, I'm not even joking, every day my head will get real hot, like I have a fever, and I'll get these headaches, and I'll have, like, sinus and stuff. I've been to a specialist. They said I was allergic to cats, which probably wasn't helping, but the past of, like, smoking, cannabis, and when I was a teenager I tried cigarettes, so it's probably taken its effect on me now. And with my dad just being more susceptible to that, all that type of stuff, I've been trying to wean myself down, even though it does help with lots of different things. Really the cheapest way to get cannabis in your system is to smoke it. The prices went down to, like, for 3 grams you can get $38. But I've been just trying to wean myself off from, like, massive amounts all the way down to, like, only 3 grams a month. Okay, yes, it goes, like, within a week it's gone, the 3 grams, but I smoke half the joint in the morning, half the joint in the evening. It just helps with mobility, like pain in my joints, pain in my neck, pain in my back, nausea. Those are the things it mainly helps me with, and anxiety, depression. But with the way I am and my health has been, I can't really smoke it. Like, just the little bit I smoked this month, like, it wasn't good. It was like having an asthma attack. So I was like, I wish I could afford to get drinks and stuff like that, or like they have special, like, syringes that's kind of like Rick Simpson oil that you eat. I can't remember what it was called, but it's basically like oil in a syringe that you can put on food. You can just put it on your tongue. They used to have these pills that you could take, which I used to get all the time, but then when that big recall happened, apparently they were involved in the mass majority of the recall, and they'll probably never be back, which makes me wonder, like, oh God, what did I put in my body type of thing. But I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna quit, even if people are mass reporting me, like haters trying to mass report my post online to try to sell my home. Even I wanted to give up, and God was even like, no, you can't give up. Like, anytime I'm like, I just can't do it. I'm overwhelmed. I'm too stressed. Like, I can't do it anymore. Like, I get like a second wind in my sail, and God's like, you gotta do it. So it's like, and like, you feel like you get divine guidance from, like, ancestors and angels, if you believe in that sort of stuff, that kind of guide you on your way. Like I said, I don't know what the purpose was for me to come here. Maybe I just needed to get away from my hometown. Maybe I needed to not be constantly attacked, berated, just stared at, talked about. Like, I was like this walking thing that people could talk about in their town, you know, and it garnered a lot of attention, especially when I was online, okay? And even now, no matter what I say and do, I'm always gonna have people that don't like me, for whatever reason, probably for valid reasons, probably because they got a side of me they didn't like, because like I said, mostly people who don't like me, they get a taste of their own medicine and they don't like that. They can't stand it that I dish it back out to them. And that's why I make a lot of enemies of people, because they want you to just smile in your face. They want you to put your nose down. They want you to just like kiss their ass. And, you know, if you're a good person and you treat me nice, fine, I'll play into it a little bit. But when you're just like in your face mean and in your face like just horrible, then I'm gonna dish it back to you, because it's almost like a weird thing. Like, I don't know if that carried in my bloodline. Like, I can't like not be like, oh, let me tell you the tea, okay? So maybe that's a toxic trait, I don't know. But also, just having this time to write out my memoir for my book, like, it kind of like made me reflect on my childhood again, and a lot of things I've forgotten about, and just like different things that was like, wow, that was really fucked up. Like, no wonder why I'm the way I am. Like, no wonder why I'm just like mentally not okay. And you have to look at it like that and laugh, because if not, you'll just cry. And that's another weird realization, is I used to really be out there, like, even for my friends, like, I would always make them laugh, okay? I'd always do something funny. I would be like kind of a class clown, like. And I wasn't really interested in school, because really they didn't focus on things I was good at, and they wanted us all to fit in these boxes. And really, high school, public school is made to push people into the workforce. And I had, you know, I really believe I had learning disabilities. To this day, sometimes I read things backwards, so it's hard for me to follow in a book without paragraphs, like chunks of sentences, okay? You know, numbers were always hard after my bike accident. Now, could that be when I hit my head on the tree, it did something? Yeah, it could have, but I got a brain scan and they didn't say like anything was wrong with me. Now, will that tell? Who knows, guys? Like, that's another thing too, is like, I've been diagnosed with so many things, and they pretty much treat you like a lab rat or a guinea pig, and they just like, they fry your brain with a bunch of medication, and sometimes make the problem worse, or sometimes they'll find a medication that does work and it makes you gain a lot of weight, which was my experience. And I think I was put on depression medication and anxiety medication when I was like 9. Okay, so that was when I first gained the weight and developed that cyst. Okay, so I've had it for over a decade. I probably had that cyst in my ovary and it's big, guys. It affects, you know. Hi, Jordan. You're not the Jordan from Good Mythical Morning, are you? He plays a character called Cotton Candy Randy. He's so funny. But I just wanted to get on here and say, like, I got a book coming. Like, I'm gonna still not give up trying to sell my house online, even if people mass report it. I'm just gonna create new accounts. Mainly it's people who are mad, or who are just trying to sabotage my life or make it harder for me. But that's the thing, like, people's already done that, and they'll go to the ends of the earth to try to fuck my life up. And the thing is, it doesn't matter, because I have like angels and like belief in God and my ancestors with me, right? So it's like, no matter how much shit people try to rain down onto me, Like it doesn't stop me. It might slow me down a little bit, but it just never will stop me. Like, people's tried my entire life. My entire life, people have tried to stop me, slow me down, keep me a prisoner. Like, and it never works. It just doesn't, because when you work with a higher power and you believe that you're here for a purpose, no one can stop the purpose. Like, once you awaken to that, like, that you're not just like put here for other people's toy to fuck with, or you're not here to just be a punching bag for people's emotional issues, or just to keep taking it. No, like, you know that saying that God gives his hardest, what is it? God gives his hardest lessons to his strongest warriors, or something like that. I can't remember how it goes, but I really take that to like heart, because everything that I've been through, like, most people wouldn't talk again. Most people would just, it would affect them too much to where they would be altered. Okay, they would be permanently changed to where they can't, they can't communicate, they won't eat for you, they won't, they turn into like a vegetable, like. And I don't want to say it in a mean way, but I'm just also on here to say again to you guys, if you know a neighbor, or you know someone like the family kid down the road who's got issues at home, and you know that their parent, either drinks or there's something going on at home, and someone calls like CPS, or they call a hotline, they show up, like, sometimes that kid really needs somebody to be on their side and believe them, because you never know what's really going on behind closed doors. You never really know what people are keeping hidden, keeping secret, and how much they'll go through, the links they'll go through to keep it quiet, and how far they'll go to make sure that it doesn't come out. That's another thing too, guys. Like, reflecting on a bunch of this, it's like, wow, like, you just realize like you've been brainwashed a lot by people who were involved in your childhood, and was involved in a lot of witnessing shit happen to you, knowing it happened, watching it happen, and covering it up, and lying to people like police, or, the hotline you would call. When I was a kid, there was this thing where you could call if you were like being beat or something was happening, you could call this hotline, right? Well, that was the night that my dad psychologically lost it, okay? He, like, drunk a lot, okay? But he also had this prescription. He was expanding more into the pharmaceuticals, and he was taking Neurontin and gabapentin and hydrocortisone, codeine, all kinds of different stuff, okay, for his medical problems, okay? And he would hallucinate and see people that weren't there and hear people that weren't there. And he would strangle me on the ground until I couldn't breathe, okay? And he would think I was someone from the army coming to kill him in his sleep, okay? So even when we were all asleep, he would wake up in the middle of the night and come into my room and try to kill me, okay? So you start to realize where a lot of your PTSD comes from, like why I can't sleep, why I have anxiety around people, especially men. Like, it's something to do with like a particular type of looking man too. And it's like weird how it plays in your life, like psychological things that happened in your childhood plays itself through in your current, like when you're trying to have a relationship. You'll find someone who's really narcissistic, abusive, belittles you, puts you down, makes you feel like your emotions don't matter. Like, so many different things that replay itself from your childhood, and you don't even realize it. You don't even know until you have like an experience like I had, where you go through so much darkness where someone throws you in the pit, and then they got to live with the guilt of throwing you in the pit that had never done nothing to you, okay? It's someone who's disturbed mentally, and you can survive it. You can get through it. You, no matter stuff that you go through, like you can make it to the other side. You just gotta, and sometimes it's really hard to say that, because there was times in my teenager years that I was like, I really didn't believe anyone was coming. Like, I really didn't. Like, I waited as long as I could wait until I wanted to give up. And it wasn't until I left that home situation that I started to get better mentally, slowly. But I don't think I'll ever be, like, I hate to say that, I don't want to curse myself to that reality, but I will never be like everybody else. I never had the same equal opportunities as everybody else. I went through a lot more trauma than the average person. I went through some fucked up shit. Like, that changes you for life. Like, you can never and see, people think, like in my family, for example, who don't struggle with mental health issues and don't struggle with trauma or PTSD, they don't get it, and they never will get it, and I shouldn't expect them to get it, because really they're lucky in a huge way, because they get to go and live normal lives, have families, relationships. They can have that. They can go have social friends. They can have social interactions. They live a pretty fairly normal life, okay? And, I'm never gonna, I don't want to say I'm never gonna have those things, but I think I'm gonna have a relationship in the future and maybe kids, but it's gotta be someone who understands how my brain works, okay? And it can't be fighting with one another. It can't be just young bullshit kid love, like where you fuck around with each other's emotions. And I don't play games like that, because I already got enough. Like, I got enough, okay? Like, enough issues to deal with, and I don't want to add any more to it. I'm trying to find someone that's gonna help me, lift me up, and put me on that pedestal that I deserve, because when I'm in a connection, I go full 100% to that connection, okay? So, but the thing is, if you betray me, if you betray my trust, if you give me a reason to think you're lying to me or playing games with me, I'll cut it off. I don't entertain people like that. No friends. I don't entertain lovers. I don't entertain family that do that to me. Like, nobody. Because I mentally already went through shit like that my entire life, and I won't do it no more, because I know how it always ends. Like the same thing with my stepmom, okay? She'd always go, "Oh, honey, what are you doing?" Like, that sweet talk that mothers do. But it was always like a way to pull me in and make me believe she cared about me. And maybe at a time she did care about me, but it's not like real daughter love, because all these years she's been saying, "Oh, she's my real daughter. She's my real daughter. She's mine." But really, when it came down to it, all the stuff she should have done as a mother, she didn't do, when it really counted, right? And, I reflect on this a lot, and if I wouldn't have written down my memoir, I wouldn't have been able to really look back at a lot of shit. Okay, so I kind of feel like my stepmom and my grandma Lorraine looked at me like dead weight. I'm gonna be honest, because I'm disabled. And that's so fucked up to do to kids. Like, just to have a kid to compete with others, like other people's children, and it's like a game to parents. Like, whose kid's the best? Who kid's making the most money? Whose kid's the most talked about? You know what I mean? It's so messed up that that's the way our world works. It's not about who's the kindest or who's the most generous or who's really changing the world. No, it's all based on such greedy, and they'll use kids too to like live out their dreams or use them for whatever, you know, like I don't know what my stepmom and grandma got out of me, mainly free work and me to cook and clean and do free work, paint, renovate their house, move all their shit, take care of them, take care of Junior, take care of holidays, host parties. I was a handmaiden, okay, that's what I was, and I kind of came to accept that, but I really did believe she at least looked at me as a kid, right? Like, maybe, you know, I always knew, because she never treated me, it's kind of a weird, it's weird to explain it, but my grandma Lorraine would teach me more when it came to motherly things than sis would. Sis was kind of like my sister, okay? She was kind of like, we went through the trauma together. We went through seeing dad's episodes. We went through going through a lot together. But when it came to remembering my birthday, when it came to doing special things, when it came to teaching me, like, things I needed to know, like, you know, that mainly came from my grandma, okay? And, you know, it just... it's such a clusterfuck to just wake up at 30 years old one day and realize you have nobody. Like, nobody at all. And the ones that are there, they don't care. And it's just so weird, guys. It really is. Like, I sometimes I wonder, did I die? You know, did dad not really die and I died and I'm in some kind of weird purgatory? I don't know. Like, sometimes I have weird thoughts like that where I'm like, because you go from living a life where you believed you had all these support networks, you believed you had people that cared about you, and then you believed all these things about your reality, and then it changes, and it completely changes. And not only that, like I said, when my grandma moved from the farm, she started to turn bitter. She started to turn angry. She would say the most horrible things to me, the meanest things that you could say to people. She would even call the police on me. Like, she would do crazy fucking shit, okay? And, you know, she tried to say, oh, it's because I getting older or whatever. Like, okay? But the thing was, like, I think she was feeling like I should have a nice fancy job and take care of them, which I really wish I could, but I just don't, okay? I didn't choose to be crippled. I didn't choose to be disabled, you know? I didn't want that. It just happened, okay? And that's really fucked up to, like, shame someone over that. And it's like, she knew what happened. She knew all the shit that happened, like with dad. Sis told her, like, there's a reason why we went to move in with them. If it was that bad, where sis had to move in with her mom again, okay? And, you know, part of me thinks, did she start to, like, hate sis for bringing me into her life and taking it out on sis, and then sis started to hate me, and then she would start putting shit in her mind to make her hate me? I don't know. And that's the thing. I can't think about it anymore. I can't worry about it. I can't sit here and go, wow, nobody cares about me, boo-hoo, you know? A lot of my life, I kind of always been alone. I never really thought that many people think about me anyway. But, excuse me, I just ate dinner, and my stomach's already reacting. Ugh. But, what was I saying, guys? I completely lost my train of thought. But once I do this, like, I hope, even if it makes it or it doesn't make it for the book, I can say I did something, and two, I can get that out of my subconscious and make room for a new part of my life that doesn't include all that, carrying all the trauma. And you know, oh, my head is hurting. I would sit here and say, you know, I've called lawyers, okay, and they said the way the title is, I had to get the title in my name. So if I had to go through a third party, it's only gonna be $200 for them to contact him and, demand him put it in my name. Because of how much money it is, it would obviously seem like you wouldn't pay that for just land, right? And why would I have a title in my hands? It doesn't really make sense. The guy who sold it was an old guy. He probably mentally shouldn't even be doing it anymore if he can't even keep things right. And, screws people over, disabled people who, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so nasty and so just, ugh. It's just such a bad dude. It's such a bad look. And, catching him on my cameras and stuff like that with him driving by the house, trying to do scare tactics to me and stuff with his son, it didn't work, okay? And the thing is, he stopped because he got caught on camera one too many times, and people around here were starting to tell him, hey, what you're doing is creepy, hey, what you did was wrong, and he didn't like it, so he went and reclused himself in his house in Richwoods, which is so funny to me that he would brag about shit like, he would brag about having a lake and swans and all this shit. And it's like, really? I really think he was a pathological liar. Like, I think he just lied about as much stuff as he could to swindle me out of my money. And the weird thing is he was talking to my lawyer. My lawyer, Rick Harris, at the time, never did shit. Never helped me once. That's why I'll never recommend him to anyone. Everyone I talk to, if anyone has real estate issues, wrongful death, anything at all, I will say, don't go to Rick Harris. Motherfucker screwed me. And I really don't care what he thinks about that. I really don't. Because what he did was wrong, and what he did was screw me over. And didn't even follow through on his own case. Okay, so, I really don't care. And two, I've been having these veins issues popping up on my legs and stuff, and bruises on my legs. And I get these bruises really, really easily. And I've lost muscle at the bottom part of my legs. And I always get up and walk, but see, that's another thing. The reason why I have to get out of here too is because the way my health is going, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I just want to be prepared, right? Falling off these steps, that put me back on my journey of getting better for my surgery on my back. I can't use a cane because I tripped over the cane. They're saying, oh, use these 4-prong canes. No, those are the ones that trip me the most because it's too heavy to lift. So it's like, I don't know, guys. It's like I need something that's flat that I can just walk into, or if I'm ever in a wheelchair, it can be where I can wheelchair into it, right? Also, gosh, my back and shoulders have been hurting. That's the main reason why I took a shower, is I had to take a shower every day just to loosen up. It just hurts so bad in the back of my head and neck. It literally feels like it's concrete and I'm trying to stretch it and it'll crack and pop. But see, I don't know. I'm really starting to think I have some kind of, I don't know, a joint pain, muscle stiffness. It feels like my bones are super tight. I can't move. It just sucks, guys. And I've been in all these accidents and shit, and I really wish I could perform like an average person. All my life, I've wanted that. I wanted to have enough money to say fuck everybody and live a happy life, send money to them, and just say bon voyage. But I can't. Okay, I wish I could, and the only way I can think of a way to make money is to write my books. Post my art. That's the only thing I have. I can't really go out and garden anymore from learning to live here, walking up and down the steps, walking through the yard, I can't do it anymore. And I could have a garden in planter pots, but it has to be somewhere safe that's all level. It can't be, you know what I mean? It just can't be dangerous for me to walk around. And, you know, as someone who's had surgery on their back, my L4 disc and all that, I don't know if I have like a degenerate like bone disease. I don't know, but I wouldn't doubt it. Like if someone told me that, I'd be like, that would make a lot of sense. Because it's just the way I feel, the just hard mobility. I can still drive and stuff like that, which, thank God, but after a long ride in a car, I'm so stiff I can't move the next day. Like I don't leave the house because I'm in so much pain. When I take nerve medication, gabapentin for that, and I used to take pain medication, but I stopped because you have to go to pain management for that. It's like for a special medication, like that's strong enough for me. And I was using cannabis there for a while, but I just can't afford it, guys. Like that's the saddest thing. Like when you're a medical patient and you pay that $200 and you pay the money for the license and you pay the money for the cultivation and you pay all this money out, you kind of expect for you to get cannabis at an affordable rate, at least the same rate you would cigarettes, right? Like a carton of cigarettes, carton of cigarette weed or whatever, or just little weed cigarettes, whatever. But also too, that's not fair either, because then they're forcing you to smoke. And really, I think that's what sped up me to get asthma, is I was smoking for years, and I was smoking like ash. Like when I would run out, I would just keep smoking ash. And I think that took a toll on me too. And I've really done it all when it comes to weed, dabs, edibles. I've tried it all. Gummies, candy. I've tried it all. Okay, even the ones that were recalled. Okay, so if that doesn't tell you something, but I really think they need to bring the prices down for like drinks and edibles and ingestibles and the syringes, so you can just add it to whatever. Because a lot of people who use cannabis have stuff like me, like Crohn's disease, IBS, ulcers, and stuff like that cause them nausea in the morning and at night. And it helps with like settling your stomach. If it gurgles a lot, if you get cramps, muscle spasms in your stomach, helps with that. Joint pain in your neck, your shoulders, your jaw, my back. Like it's like you're able to move around. It's like taking a Tylenol, okay? And see, the thing is, they're like, don't take Tylenol because it's bad for you. It makes you numb in your brain. It makes you, like, damages your organs. And it's like, really, that's all medication, though. There's always something, right? And see, I'm on metoprolol for my high blood pressure. I've had that since I was little, too. And stomach acid because I have like GERD, which is like an abnormal production of stomach acid, which comes up and burns and makes you feel like you can't breathe. I'm on that. Gabapentin, I already said that. Pantoprazole is the heartburn pill. And Lexapro in the evening. I used to take Xanax. I've ran out of Xanax. But right now I'm taking Lexapro, which is a depression medication, and I've been on that really since Bismarck. And I was on anxiety. I was put on Xanax after my dad died because I couldn't sleep. Yeah, I mean, that's basically my life, guys, like, summed up in a nutshell. Like, I don't want to stay on here too long, but I do want to kind of get on here and say, like, whoever is mass reporting me on Facebook, it's not gonna stop me, okay, guys? Like, you can do it. If that, like, gets you happy to do that for that day. But the thing is, it's not gonna stop me. Like, nothing's ever gonna stop me. Like, cool. Casey Gustafson. Cool. Nice picture, by the way. But yeah, after I do all that, I'm gonna publish that, and then once I'm done publishing that, I'm gonna work on my other books. Yeah. Casey, I don't know, you must be one of those people that mass report my accounts. So here's the thing, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, you're never gonna stop me, okay? You're never gonna stop me from doing my thing, okay? Also, if you think you can, that's cool. But you're not going to be able to. Like, even if I wanted to stop myself, I wouldn't be able to. Because, you know, God makes me, you know, go through with what what the divine purpose is. You know, that I'm his child, and I deserve, you know, all the abundance in the universe that he has to offer me. You're obviously upset with that. I hope you get better soon. Jealousy is a sickness, and I hope you get better soon. Also, there's so many people that are keyboard warriors, who will say all this crazy shit in chat, but they will never, ever say it to your face, and they'll never approach you. And I find that funny. I kind of find it like, it's just funny to me. It's like when you hate someone you like are obsessed with. It's like, why are you watching me just to comment that? You know what I mean? Like, you came all this way here just to say that, like, and stay to make sure I see it. Like, that's funny. But anyway, for the next couple of minutes, I'm gonna talk about some other things. I figured out how to make hard candy. So you take granulated sugar, a little bit of water, not much, maybe like 4 tablespoons. You can add corn syrup, but I'm gonna be honest with you, you don't need it. I use strawberry extract, but I would get flavoring if you can get it, like any type of like Kool-Aid, that's probably pretty cheap. Any type of Kool-Aids you like mango, strawberry, you can add that. You could add, like, I added lavender and hibiscus flower to one of them because I was making homemade cough drops. I made that one with honey, but it didn't get as hard. It was kind of like taffy-like. So if you just want to make some hard candies at home, just get some sugar, get whatever extract or flavoring you want, and boil it on the stovetop. And then once it becomes bubbly like and brown, you pour it into a mold. I have a video on here that I'm gonna upload later on, and once I upload that later on, I'll show you guys. But what else was there? What else was there I was gonna talk about? I was gonna say something else and I can't remember now. I feel like I got a head cold. It's probably these windows. Constantly sick. I'm tired of it. I've been sick here more than I have. We're really here in Grandma's house is about the same, so I think it's the cedar trees, because there were cedar trees at Grandma's house too, and I was like dying. So was Dad. I really think that could have been something that was contributing to Grandma Ruby, is maybe she didn't know she was allergic to cedar. There's a lot of them around there. But like I said, guys, I'm I'm gonna get off here in a few minutes because we're at 40 minutes, but I just want to say, I got all this in here. All this in here. Full. It's completely full of my memoir. Once I sell this place, I'm gonna use it to get a help to publish those books. And move somewhere where I can go in case I'm in a wheelchair. It's just easier for me to move because, like I said, I've fallen out here off the porch. I can't feel my right leg still, and after the back surgery, like, and I've waited and I've done the therapy and I've done the physical therapy, and it never came back, and they just said it probably won't at this point. And it just sucks, you know, because you lose your balance, you sway back and forth, it's weird. Since I've had that back surgery, it feels like my hip is like not even anymore. It feels like it's like one side's up a little bit, and so my leg kind of swings like this when I'm trying to walk, and sometimes I'm about to fall one way, and so I swing my leg out, and I look like I'm drunk out in public. But it's like, when you have mobility issues, you know, and it's like I carry a cane, but I don't always use it because you trip on it. And like I said, they have these special canes. They have all kinds of different canes, but it seems like the ones I have the most luck with are just the regular stick ones. When I came out of the hospital, part of me really likes walkers because you can move. You're holding on to something that's stable so you're not going to fall, but you can move with it. And that's what part of me really likes a walker, because with canes you can trip yourself. Plus you got stuff in your hands if you're going to the store. Like, it feels like, and really that's all I can do is like go to the grocery store and back. Like, I can't go on, like, you know, walking through the zoo. Like, I'm close to the zoo up here. I can't walk through it. I used to be able to do that before my back surgery. I'm glad I did that before, you know, this happened. But, you know, part of me wants to go do those things, like go to an aquarium, touch a stingray, you know, but can I survive through a fucking huge place? No, I'd be in so much pain halfway through and dying, sweating and in pain, that I'd be like, bro, you're gonna have to drag me back. Jordan, I'm sorry you're having back problems. I know how you feel. Fist bump. I know how you feel, my dude. It sucks when you have a hurt back because literally everything you do, like, I don't know about you guys, like, and I'm not trying to like creep you out or gross you out, but does your butt hurt really bad? Like, when you sit down, like your tailbone area and your top of your butt, like, it hurts. Like, it feels like you've just been hit across, like you just flopped down on the floor on your ass. Like, that's literally how it hurts. It just aches and hurts. But I guess because the L4 spine's at the lower end, I would show you my scar, but I'm self-conscious of it because it goes halfway up my back and it just looks weird. And so I'm not gonna say what it looks like, but let's just say it makes me sad, because like I'm covered in scars from my first accident. I have a huge L-shaped scar on my leg, and then I have a huge scar up to half of my back. I look like I've been stitched together, bro. I look like Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. Like, bro, I can't. And it's like, I just want to live my life, and I just want to like have fun whatever time I have left. And I don't want to do crazy shit. Part of me really wants to go to a concert because I've never been to one, but also part of me is worried that would it be too loud? Because if it's really loud, I would be miserable. And if there's a lot of people, I would be scared shitless. Like, I definitely would never go to a metal band, just because every time I've ever heard a friend go to a metal band, always something bad happens. Like, mosh pit, people fighting, people going blind in an eye from a laser. Like if, like, let's say, like, if I could go see Adele or Beyonce or Taylor Swift, I'd be like, oh my God. I'd be a little starstruck, I'm not gonna lie. I'd be shook a little bit, but also, like, could I not enjoy it? Because if there's a bunch of people screaming their heads off, I would feel like I'm in fear constantly, and it would override just being able to watch it on TV, up close shots of them, you know what I mean? So, but I mean it, just say that I did it, you know what I mean? It's like experiences is to say that I did it, and when I die, like, I'm not like sitting here dying and being like, man, I really wish I went and did that when I could. But also it comes down to money too, in class. Like, people who have more money and make more income can have better lives and better lifestyles, you know. And when you're on disability, you have enough to survive, and that's it. You don't have the money to live a luxurious life, at least not me. And I know there are people out there that scam the system, and I get that, and they use the system, but there's a lot of people out there that are just normal, and it'd be nice to have an extra $50 to go do something, you know. But I don't even have that. I don't even have $5 extra a month. I literally can't even afford internet, guys. All I can afford is my cell phone. That's it. I got YouTube and my cell phone. I filled up. I can only afford to fill my gas tank once, because it goes about almost $40 to fill up. And also, that's another reason, you know, I got to think about what's going to keep me alive the longest. And I can say that I had my own place and I lived that life and I learned a lot from it. Like, like just weird stuff that is so weird to me, that you live here. Hi, Ron Rumble. You live here and all that in a trailer park with not even that big of a yard, and you have to pay $650 a year on taxes. Like, that doesn't even make sense to me. Like, maybe 300, maybe, but it's just so weird. It's just so bizarre. Like, taxes, and when you're disabled, it's like, it's so weird to me, guys. It doesn't make sense. Taxes seem like a scam. I'm gonna be real. Are they scamming us? Because I feel like they are. What'll happen to me if I don't pay taxes? They'll probably put me in jail. The IRS will come for me. That's why I'm like, man, I gotta cut my losses. This sucks. But it's also kind of like, well, I can't really live here safely for long anyway, because I fell off the porch on the steps because I didn't have a good rail. It's like a slab of wood, but I get splinters in my hands. And really, when you have a back injury and you have mobility issues, you need a rail, like something you can fully grip onto and hold onto, so when you fall forward, you don't face plant, which is what I did. Smashed my glasses into my face, busted my face open. And then when you go to the ER thinking, oh, I have insurance, you don't realize there's certain hospitals that won't take your insurance and they'll bill you. And it's like, bruh, like, are you kidding me? Like, no. And then, just lots of stuff I would have never learned, and really, I didn't want someone telling me what to do. I really wanted to know for myself, right? Because there was nobody I could trust in my life. There was no one I could really turn to and be like, this person's not going to screw me over. This person's not trying to get me. This person's not trying to fuck with me. You know what I mean? Like, and now that I did it, I know. And I kind of know what to look for my next place. But, you know, you can look and look and look, and there may be something the inspectors would never find. You know, it all comes down to just destiny and fate, and just sometimes you got good luck, sometimes you got shit luck, sometimes, you know, it's just like learning lessons. And it wasn't really good or bad. It was just like pros and cons. Okay, if I can't stay here, I don't have a ramp. If I'm ever in a wheelchair, I can't make it up my house. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, you know, it needs work, and it deserves the work, and it deserves to be turned up nice. And I did a lot of it, but I only did what I could do, okay, physically. I can't sit here and hold a window in place. I can't, you know, do plumbing stuff. You know, I don't have the back for it, you know. And I want someone to have it that's gonna, you know, treat it good and at least fix it up nice, right? And can mow the grass and can do all this stuff, you know. And, you know, part of me feels like if my uncle would have let me have the lawnmower, I could have been able to. But I also had to realize that I don't know, guys. Like, I fixed the lawnmower lots of times. Even when my cousins were there, they would mow the lawn for me. They would hit rocks with it. I'd fix the blades. I'd fix the belt. I'd put oil in it. Like, I know the basic stuff you need to do and check, right? Because my dad would teach me that. Like, I know basic stuff. I only know a little bit. Like, what you could easily teach a teenage kid. Like how to sand, how to stain, how to paint, how to do flooring. That's it. Like, I can put that flooring in there, but I've been feeling so shitty. Like, you know what I mean? Like, do I even want to do it anymore? Do I even have the energy when you put so much energy into something and it just feels like it starts to take a toll on you too, and it starts to, like, I don't want to say make you feel bad, but like when I came here, I wanted to relax. Okay, I wanted to get away from everything, write my book, recover from trauma, try to see where I'm at in life for mobility after my surgery, what I can do and what I can't do. I didn't want someone to baby me and like enable me. No, don't do that. Don't do that. I wanted to really see and try to push myself to be completely 100% independent. So I wasn't a burden on anyone. No one was making me feel like I was a fucking useless shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I can still do that, but I had to do it from either a home that's level, easy to walk in, ramp, or an apartment. You know, part of me thought about the camper, but I think like the camper would be work too, like, because there's lots of stuff that can go wrong. But the thing is, I don't really need that much space. Like, it's just me and my cat. You know what I mean? And really, I never use that bathroom in that first bedroom. I never do. Just because it's me and Jasper, you know? And I always tried to plan ahead because I never knew what would happen with my stepmom. I never knew what was going to happen with, you know, Grandma Lorraine. I didn't know what was going to happen with them, if they were going to need me or not, but it seems like they don't need me at all now, 6-7 months ahead of time. You know, they're living with their family, so it's like, you know, that also put a lot of things in perspective for me too. Like, I was always sacrificing myself to save other people, and it's like, I don't want to say, you know, I sacrificed my life, but a big part of it I did for other people. Because they would say they care about me, and really that's all I ever wanted in life, is for someone to care. And that's another thing that goes back to childhood and, you know, my birth mother never being there and only wanting anything to do with me if it involved my dad writing a check to her or me running away and causing a big scene to get attention. Like, it was always about weird mind games between my mom and dad. And my stepmom would get in on that and play mind games with me and my dad too. And now looking at it, she would play mind games with me and Brad, Grandma and me, like so many people, like, and you get enough alone time and solitude where you start to realize all of it. You start to see it for how it really is. And, you know, part of me just feels like, you know, those old gypsy caravans? I feel like I could live in one of them. You know, I lived in a camper with my dad. You know, we were at St. Francis State Park, Terre de Lac. Back when they had 2 really big blow-up fights, we'd go out camping for the whole summer, okay? And I liked it, okay? And, you know, just like I liked it out on the farm at Grandma Lorraine's house, but sis hated it. There's something about her being raised in the country that she couldn't stand it no more. She liked being in town. And see, I don't, like, and see, it also, I learned a lot about locations. I learned a lot about, you know, having resources near me, where I needed to go, where I needed to be. And really you don't. You think you have control over all those things, but really at the end of the day you don't. And it really is all in God's hands at the end of the day. He decides where you're going to go. And, you know, maybe he brought me here to be like, you know, this is the reality for you now. You need to slow down. You need to focus on your health. You need to start writing your book that you always wanted to do, and you need to get this stuff done, and this is the time to do it. And now that you've done it and you took that time with me, I'm gonna move you somewhere else, maybe for another book inspiration, or maybe to meet somebody, or maybe to save somebody, or maybe to talk to somebody. You never know what the plan is with him. It's always something, you know, and you may not even realize it. You could just be yourself, walking through the world just being yourself, and you affect people's lives, okay? And also, I do believe God tests you. Like, he puts you through trials and tribulations to see where your heart's at, to see if your faith is genuine, to see how strong it is, to see just the, you know, to see where you're going, to see if you are gonna keep rising up, or if you're gonna stay the same, or what. And that's the way I gotta look at it. Like, I had to look at it like that. And I know people say, like, whatever about people who believe in religion. But like I said, guys, I've been through some dark stuff, okay? Stuff that most people wouldn't be able to talk about. They wouldn't talk at all, okay? They would literally turn into a vegetable, okay? The trauma would be too much for their brain to handle. And maybe that's why, you know, my mental health is the way it is. I don't know. And see, you can get therapy, but the thing is with Humana, it doesn't cover psychologists, okay? Been to thousands of therapists, okay, guys? My whole life. And they do behavioral health, and they talk about stuff with you and give you some medications. But people who have, you know, either schizophrenia, PTSD, multi-personality disorder, they need psychologists to give them medication to medicate them on a baseline for their anxiety, okay? And that's apparently what I need, okay? And you know, I'm gonna accept it now, you know, that I have anxiety and depression. And, you know, people were saying I was bipolar, like the primary doctors. Yeah, maybe I could be. I'm open to the possibility of that being. But I also know it's not just that. Like, I know there's other things going on that I've experienced really since I was a little kid. As long as I can remember, I've always had, you know, auditorial hallucinations, nightmares, anxiety, anxiousness, depression. Like, like the depression part, it comes at random times, out of nowhere. And I'll just get really, really depressed so bad where I debate if I'm going to kill myself. Like, I literally sit there and debate over and over and over and over if I'm going to do it. And the only thing that stops me from doing it is, no, I got to take care of Jasper. And so that's one reason why it's good to have a pet. When you suffer from this too, especially if you went through everything I've went through, you know, with family and friends and stuff, if they don't have someone in their family that struggles with it, they'll never get it. And don't feel bad if your family alienates you or makes you feel like a black sheep, or makes you think that you're the crazy one, or makes you feel like you don't belong. Like, you belong somewhere. Maybe you weren't meant to belong with them, you know, but am I gonna stream often? You mean live? Get on live? I don't know, really, because like I said, you guys saw that on Casey Gustafsson, whatever. I get a lot of this hate in my chat where it's just like about my weight, basically. Which I have an eating disorder. I don't really talk about it that much, but I have a binge eating disorder, which is related to my anxiety and depression. So, long story short, my dad won custody of me from my birth mother because my birth mother left me with a pedophile, a couple of them. When they found me, I had burns on my legs where they were putting cigarettes out on my legs. They starved me. My hair was matted to my head. My aunt picked me up with my dad. They took me out to eat, and they said I just ate and ate and ate. The whole time they were there, they even tried to leave, and I wouldn't leave and kept eating. Okay, so there's a psychological trigger to eating and stress relief. That's the only two things I can connect it to, because I can't remember exactly what happened to me. Like, I have nightmares about it, but it's different. It's not really like what really happened. So instead of seeing the faces of people that did things to me, I'll see them as demons. Really tall, massive, distorted, scary, terrifying demons. And I'm in like a demon world, and I'm hiding from people, and they find me, you know what I mean? And it's like, I can't even remember. See, that happens a lot too. When I try to remember, my brain just turns off. It won't let me remember. And that's one reason why I want to do hypnosis, is so I can slip into it, and maybe someone can get in there to figure out what am I hiding. Maybe it's just too much for my brain to handle. It, like, did my dad do something? Did my dad have a hand in it? Did, my mom have a hand in it? All the stuff that I found with my mom on video, is that true? Like, why did my dad have pictures of me in a box in the basement, hidden in the roof with no clothes on? Like, there's all kinds of like fucked up shit that my brain can't, there's nowhere to put it. So it just kind of like, when I go to recall, it's gone. And the same with when my bike accident. Everything before then, even friends at the time. I used to have a friend, I'm not going to name drop her, but her name was Ashley, last name G. She lived on the same street as me, and she said after that bike accident, I didn't remember her for a long period of time. And I feel like that's true, because a long time after that, really, that was the year that I fell in school. Like, I was homeschooled, and my friend behind me named Whitney was coming over to give me my homework and stuff. And I could not do numbers. Like, I had learned multiplication, and I had lost it all. I couldn't remember any of it. And still to this day, I can't do multiplication. I don't know what it is about numbers. I can't do it. Like, and maybe I could with the right teacher. Maybe I need a special teacher. And I tried to go back to school, try to get my GED, but that all got thrown out the window when my uncle sued me for the house. So I couldn't go to school no more. So yeah, that's kind of where my life is. But when you go through a lot of stuff like that, and people expect you to be at the same level as someone who doesn't have all that, it's really insulting. It's like screaming at someone in a wheelchair, just get up and stand up. That's how I feel with mental illness. It's still a disability, right? And people are just shaming me and making me feel guilty and making me feel bad because I ain't at the same level as someone with a good spine. You know what I mean? Like, it's so messed up. Or like good mental health, like whose parents were normal, didn't do fucked up shit to them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I wish I could be. Like, I wish, like, everything, I had like a college education, I had my own thing, but the thing is, even if I had all that, it would have to be something that I physically could still do. Like, I always wanted to be a veterinarian, right? But could I stand? Could I have to put the animals to sleep if I needed to? Could I stand for surgery for long periods of time? I don't know if I could. And that's another thing for me to have to learn here is keep going up and keep continuing forward and keep trying to get better, but also don't make it so far out of my reach to where I can't ever attain it and just fall down in depression, right? Give myself smaller goals that I can actually attain, like selling this place or getting my book published, posting my art. Like, part of me also wants to make candy or something. Like, I know that sounds dumb, but I always wanted to do something in the cannabis industry. And I love gardening, so I kind of feel like, I like to cook too. So it's like, I'm not a stand-in type of baker. I'm more of a put it on low or put it in the oven and come check it every so often, you know what I mean? But with candy, you have to stand and watch it because it gets hot and it'll burn real easy. But the thing is, I wanted to make my own edibles. I wanted to make my own candy, and I wanted to be affordable for medical patients that are like me and actually need it, who use it in a replace of depression, anxiety medication, PTSD, stomach issues, you know what I mean? I want to make more like everyday products, like infused with water, like things that isn't gonna really mess up your stomach, right? Because too much sugar can mess up your stomach. That's when I was like, all right, I'm gonna make cheese or yogurt. But I just haven't had the opportunity to expand more on that. I did it with yogurt, but the thing is, I want to make it tasteless to where you don't really taste it, at least not as strongly, right? It's covered up with other things, so you don't really know, you know? And see, I just haven't had enough, you know, one, I can't grow more than 5 plants at a time. 2, I just had bad luck with growing them here. 3, it's expensive to grow. I have grown it here. I have made peanut butter. I have done a couple of experiments, but I've also had a couple fails where it cost a lot of money, but if I would have never done it, I would have never learned. And that's the way I have to think about it, is even when I fuck up, it's like I'm still learning something, right? And oh gosh, I got these veins popping up on my legs, and I got this hard knot on one of my legs. I wonder if you guys can see this. Hold on. Can you guys see that? That white spot right there? You guys can't see it. Oh gosh. Yeah, I lost my signal, but I got these bruises and my veins are starting to pop up at the top of my skin. And they hurt. They burn and they hurt. And the more I'm on my feet and the more I walk, they hurt a lot. Like, it'll hurt into my knees. It'll start aching. And I have to lay down. And see, that's another thing is, people are going to say it's your weight. People are going to say, and yeah, obviously, surely it contributes. But the thing is, too, like I said, with eating disorders, you need a psychiatrist, because for whatever reason, if I'm stressed or anxious or mad or really any type of feeling, I'll binge eat. And I'll binge eat so much that a regular person shouldn't be able to do. Like, I don't even want to say what I did this month, but when I finished my book, let's just say nobody came on Halloween, and I made myself very sick by eating an entire bowl of candy. Oh boy, was I sick. I was sick for so long. And it was like the worst possible candy I could have got, like Jolly Ranchers, which just fuck up my heartburn so bad. And when I saw the kids, I was like, please take all this candy, because if not, I'm gonna eat it and I'm gonna end up nuking myself. Like, you know, a little bit of sugar every day, I feel like I need, like I literally have to have, or I'll get a headache, which could be from an addiction, like an binge eating disorder, where you're so used to intaking certain number of calories a day, your body depends on it, and then when you stop doing it, that's like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? And I've gotten better, but I'm still big. Let's be real, like, and when you don't really do that much, you're gonna be chunky, okay? You're good. Like, if you, I can't just run up and down a rocky road. I can barely walk up a road that's rocky. I'm gonna be honest with you, okay? I can barely make it to my Jeep. And that's the sad fucking thing. Like, it takes everything I have, every bit of strength I have and energy to just go to Walmart and get groceries. And I only go once a month when I get my Humana card, so I end up spending around $200. So, like, a Walmart cart full of groceries. I'm usually in there for an hour. I'd say at least an hour. And by the time I'm done, I'm in so much pain. My legs are burning. My knees are hurting. My ankles are hurting. My feet are burning. My back is hurting. My neck is hurting. Like, I'm sweating profusely. I'm ready to get home. Once I lay down, it eases a lot, but like I said, I always have pain in my hip now since that surgery, And I don't know, guys, like, it just sucks. I'm gonna be honest, it just sucks because, you know, you go from living a life, like, let's say when I was 25, I was able to do so much more than I am 5 years later, you know what I mean? And it just makes me think, okay, I'm 30 now. I need to really start thinking about, because the back surgery, the back issue just kind of happened out of nowhere. I really thought it was my bladder. I really thought there was something wrong with my bladder, but then one day I couldn't straighten up. Like, I literally, it was like I was like this, and I couldn't straighten my back. And then all of a sudden my leg wouldn't straighten and it went up. And I was like, oh, and I started having extreme pain to where I thought I was going to pass out. It was the same level of pain when I broke my arms. It was intense. I thought I broke my back. I didn't know what I did. And see, I was kind of right with the bladder because I couldn't pee. When the disc went into my back, it hit my spinal cord and it pinched off the nerve to my leg. That's why my leg went up. That's why I had to learn to re-walk again, stand again, get strength in my leg, how to operate, get in a car a different way. And I still have to do that. Certain ways I have to operate in life, like therapy, because, you know, my feeling never came back in my leg, you know, so it is what it is. But guys, I'm gonna get off here. We're at 71 minutes and I'll talk to you on the next one. I might get on a couple times a month, but if there's a lot of haters in chat, like, I'm gonna just block them, or any moderators on here, kick them, report them. Like I said, check out my other videos and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.